Oh, it is getting wild on NFL Primetime. The Titans and Bills staged the first ever playoff game in Tennessee. Could Rob Johnson be Buffalo's savior, or would he feel that curse of the Titans? A playoff classic with an ending that has to be seen to be believed. In the NFC, the Redskins hope to tame the Lions yet again in D.C. Stephen Davis marches back for Washington while the defense tries to contain old friend Gus Frerotte. A day that'll go down in NFL history. It's one for the ages, and it's all on NFL Primetime. Hi again, time to roll with the new on NFL Primetime. Chris Berman has ABC duty, so he's not here. Tom Jackson is now a daddy again. He and his wife Jen, proud parents of Morgan Lee Jackson, born today, 7 pounds, 10 ounces. Congrats TJ, congrats Jen, and congrats Taylor, who is now a big sister. This is the S-squared double S version of Primetime. Sterling, today, the wild card games, unbelievable. Finally something to rival the Immaculate Reception, because this show will definitely go down in history.
Well, first, this is the way the show was meant to be with me and you. And second of all, a great finish, a great way to start off 2000. And it's the best finish I've seen all century.
Yeah, Immaculate Reception. Now we've got to play.
Yes.
Now we've got to play for the new century. Neither quarterback in the Bills-Titans game had ever started a playoff game, so they both had something to prove. Rob Johnson wanted to show his 287 yards last week was no fluke, and he deserved the surprise start he got from Wade Phillips. Steve McNair had to prove his 5 touchdown passes against the Jags in December was for real. Javon Kearse didn't have anything to prove. The rookie Pro Bowler just wanted to underline in bold letters, yo, I ain't no joke. First playoff game ever in the state of Tennessee. Rob Johnson to start. He only had 1 start during the season. Doug Flutie won 10 games for the Bills on the sidelines. Javon Kearse, your AFC sack leader. First play for Rob Johnson. 1st and 10. Back to pass. Gets bum rushed by Josh Evans. Sign of things to come. Johnson sacked 10 times. Sacked 6 times, excuse me. Next drive for the Bills. 1st and 10. Johnson gets freaked by Kearse. Kearse forced 10 fumbles this year. Doug Flutie can only watch. Titans, though, missed a field goal. Second quarter, 2nd and 6 from the 8. Johnson, Kearse, I like it when you call me Big Papa. 2 sacks in the day. Titans a 2-zip lead. Sterling, check this thing out again.
Well, one thing you look at, they're going to an audible here, and everyone gets the audible but the center. And what happens is quarterback Rob Johnson does not go to the left with the center. The ball's on the ground. He drops it, has to pick it up, gets stepped on. Javon Kearse finishes him off, safety. Not to mention, a great job by Javon Kearse using his speed, getting around that corner. He likes to dip and lean. He's got the best body control in the business.
On the ensuing kickoff, Derek Mason gets an opening. Derek says, peace out. 42 yards, which will give the Titans excellent field position. 2nd and goal from the 1. Sterling, McNair, bling bling on the sweep. Guy had 8 touchdowns this year. He is the Titans 7-0. When he has a rushing touchdowns, they go up 9-zip after the extra point. But the Bills defense hung in there. 3rd and 5 for the Titans. McNair from the gun scrambles, gets sacked by Bruce Smith. NFL postseason record, 14.5 sacks, 2.5 on the day. Later in the second quarter, Titans driving 3rd and 2 from the 48. That Buffalo defense keeping them in it. McNair gives to Eddie George. George runs right, but coughs up the ball. Eddie finished with 106 rushing yards, but a costly fumble. Titans up 12-zip at recess. First play of the second half, 1st and 10 for the Bills. You know, Buffalo only 64 total yards in the first half. First play of the second half, Antoine Smith. How you like me now? 44 yards. His longest run of the year was 18. 4 plays later, looked like he was hobbled. Antoine, no problem. The handoff in for the touchdown. Bills down 12-7 after the extra point. 4th quarter, 1st and 10 from the 45. Johnson looking for Eric Moulds. This is why Wade Phillips made the start. Johnson, the Trojan, to Moulds, 48 yards. Johnson one of 10 completions on the day, and Flutie still can only watch. 3 plays later, 3rd and 7 from the 14. Johnson from the gun throws the ball incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. Kearse gets called for roughing the passer. Sterling, what happened here?
Well, I think he used his hands to the face. He did a great job making Rob throw the ball early, and Jeff Fisher's certainly not going to like that call.
Yeah, Johnson didn't either because he got up looking out of his ear hole. 3 plays later, though, 3rd and goal for the Bills. Antoine Smith gets the carry, in for the touchdown. 2-point conversion failed, but the Bills up 13-12. 5:37 to play. Titans 2nd, 8. McNair, somehow Frank Wycheck made that catch at square.
Well, one thing you look at, John Holosack is playing the man, not the ball. Give credit to Frank Wycheck keeping his eye-hand coordination top of his game, makes a big catch right here.
Wycheck, 4 catches on the day. Next play, McNair scrambles for the first down. That keeps the drive going. McNair, 2nd leading rusher on this team during the regular season, behind that guy, Eddie George, who has 4 straight 1,200-yard seasons. In the drive, Al Del Greco, the attempt from 35 yards, money. Titans take the lead 15-13, 1:48 left. Bills trail by 2, and Buffalo with no timeouts. Kearse pleading for the special teams to stop him. Kevin Williams, who dropped the 2-point conversion earlier in the game, makes amends to a degree. 33 yards in the return. Thurman Thomas watching from the sideline, nursing a knee injury, hoping the Bills can come back. First play of the drive, 1st and 10 from 38. Johnson finds the rookie Peerless Price out of Tennessee for the first down. 2 plays later, Jonathan from the gun gives to Jonathan Linton. They had the rush coming. Linton up for the first down. Next play, Johnson from the gun scrambles and signals for the spike. Watch in the spot shadow. Johnson actually will lose his shoe. He lost his shoe on the play. Johnson, 10 of 22 for the day. But what was his stats as shoeless Rob Johnson? This is like the White Sox, or the White Sox with a bunch of tape from his, Sterling, is that like the tape from the spat of the
That's the top of the spat that was left on there. And the offensive lineman does a great job of getting rid of the shoe, too.
Dusty Ziegler just threw it to the side, so Johnson to the line with 1 shoe on, but instead of spiking the ball, he rolls right with 1 shoe and completes the pass to Price for the first down. Johnson 1 of 1 with 1 shoe. So for Christie, 41 yards. 20 seconds left. Doug Christie, from 40 to 49 yards this year, was 3 for 9. Rob Johnson did get his shoe back, we think. 3 for 9 from this distance. Christie, booyah! Bills take a 16-15 lead. Rob Johnson led the Bills back, seemingly for the game-winning field goal. Eddie George on the sideline, bumming. But on the ensuing kickoff, and this is a play that they will talk about for years, until the next millennium. Lorenzo Neal fields the kickoff. He's going to give the ball to Frank Wycheck. Wycheck turns and laterals to Kevin Dyson. Don't hate the play, I hate the game. Dyson, his first kickoff return ever. The first kickoff return for a touchdown since 1988 for this franchise. Unbelievable. Steve McNair can't believe it. Wycheck, who made the lateral, not afraid to show his emotions. And Rob Johnson is just shell-shocked, stunned on the sideline. Sterling, though, was it a lateral? It looked like it was a forward pass.
It was straight down the line of scrimmage. Look where the ball is, not where the guy is or where the guy's feet are. Great catch by Kevin Dyson. I think Frank Wycheck was so surprised that he was wide open, he almost made a bad throw. But watch the official highlighted at the top of the screen. His left arm goes out, which truly signals it's a lateral.
So they had to review the call. Remember, you have to have complete evidence that it was a bad call. Phil Luckett reviews the play, signals touchdown. Linton and the Bills can't believe it. Sterling, how did the Bills blow that defense?
I think they were kind of shocked and not really sure what was going on here. You see Lorenzo Neal right here. It looks like they had enough time for a setup of all 11 Bills right here. Not really sure what's going on, whether they're going to try and return it. And what Tennessee is doing right here is setting up the wall. And you know when you got the wall, there's usually only one guy left that you have to block, and that's the kicker. And I got to give him credit. Christie was trying to make this play, but it was outstanding design of that football play by the Tennessee Titans.
Christie trying to make a play. 4 guys out blocking. Doug Flutie and the Bills' season is over. Frank Wycheck, Javon Kearse, and the Titans move on. Wild as we begin to describe it. 22-16. Tennessee now 9-0 at home this year. Mark it down. The first playoff game of the 21st century will probably still be one of the most talked about plays when the century ends. Dyson's touchdown, as I said, his first kickoff return ever. Buffalo, who'd won 10 of their previous 13 playoff games, they go down. The Titans, who hadn't even been in a playoff game in 6 years, move on. All the talk after the game was about what is now known as the Adelphia Miracle.
I truly went from one extreme to the other. 1 minute I was sky high, knowing we had another game to play next week, and then it all hit me, and just that quick.
I hope, just for the ref's sake, that it was legit, because that's everywhere we're getting is that it wasn't.
We wanted to kick it high and short, where they didn't have the timing on the play, where you wouldn't kick it deep, and when the guy ran over there and threw it back, we didn't. Our guys on that other side broke down.
I had a wall. I had everybody there just walling off. Only thing left was the kicker. And so if I can't run the kicker, I don't need to be in the NFL.
What a play. We worked it yesterday. We work it every Saturday. The only difference was the guy that had been working it, Derek Mason, was out, and I pulled Kevin Dyson off the bench and told him basically what we planned on doing, and we did it.
You heard him say Derek Mason was out because he was the guy that the play was designed for. Now, Anthony Dorsett was like Mason's backup in the play, but he was experiencing cramps. So Dyson had never even done this. As they're going onto the field, Bird is explaining to Dyson, this is what you do. With all that confusion, all that drama, how did they pull this play off and pull it off perfectly?
Gutsy call, and you got to give credit to Kevin Dyson for paying attention in practice. But the one thing is, when you make that call, this is probably the only play this year of the past football season that you saw where all 11 guys were on the same page. All 11 guys got their job done. Perfect execution. You saw the result. Win the football game.
Rob Johnson in this game sacked 6 times. He only completed 10 times. Hindsight is a lot of 20/20, but was Wade Phillips wrong in making the switch and starting Rob Johnson?
In my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, he made a mistake because if you look at what Rob Johnson did, yes, he brought them back at the end of the football game, but he was sacked 6 times. He gets sacked normally when he plays quarterback once every 6 times he drops back, whereas Doug Flutie, he only gets sacked once every 20 times. If you look at that football game early on, Tennessee, they got 9 points off of Johnson, the quarterback's position. I thought Doug Flutie could have run away from probably 3 or 4 of those sacks.
Doug Flutie ran the ball more than any quarterback in the league this year,
Exactly.
88 times, almost 500 yards rushing. You got to figure that Flutie would have gotten away from at least 1 or 2 of those 6 sacks.
He's the guy that gives them points and not puts points on the board for the other team, and that's what Rob Johnson did.
Let's roll up inside the numbers. 11 times in playoff history, a kickoff has been run back for a touchdown, as you see the Adelpha miracle again. But of those 11 times, only 3 times has a winning team done it. Kevin Dyson did it. Today, in the 99 wildcard game, Desmond Howard in the Super Bowl 31, and Eric Metcalf the other 8 times, including the last one before Dyson, was Tim Dwight in the Super Bowl. This past Super Bowl, usually when that happens, the team loses. This one, unbelievable.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the official card of the NFL. Log on to ESPN.com for more Inside the Numbers.
Still ahead of NFL Countdown. How bad was Stephen Davis hurting? The Lions got to find out. Motown trying to win in D.C. for the first time since '39. NFL Countdown. Chris Berman back in that house. 11:30 a.m. with the pregame of the wild card games, and in primetime, Chris and Mike Golick, 7:30 Sunday.
Today's Sports Century Classic Moment is brought to you by Lincoln Financial Group.
Number 1 Kentucky hasn't lost a home game in 12 years under its venerable head coach, the Baron, Adolph Rupp. But against 2-4 Georgia Tech, the Wildcats' 129-game streak ends when guard Joe Helms steals the ball and hits the game-winning jumper with 11 seconds to go. The 59-58 victory remains one of the biggest wins in Tech history. January 8th, 1955.
Up on NFL primetime, Redskins, Lions in the D.C. area. Can Detroit finally get a win over Washington away from Detroit? We're back. Lions and Redskins, Detroit 0-19 all-time against the Redskins in the D.C. area. Former Redskin quarterback Gus Frerotte for the Lions. He beat the Redskins in Week 13. First quarter, first play from scrimmage, Greg Jones sacks Frerotte. Lion quarterback sacked 64 times this year. Ensuing Redskin possession, Stephen Davis goes right. Couldn't get away, 3 yards. Next play, Davis again trying to represent 2 yards. Bothered by an injury, Davis ineffective on the Redskins' first series. Washington forced to punt. During the Washington punt, Detroit linebacker Clint Crewalt's right into Matt Turk. The penalty gives Washington a first down. And it'll set up this. Brad Johnson, former Viking, getting his vibe on with Irving Fryer over the middle. Fryer, one of only 2 men who has 1,000-yard receiving seasons with 3 different teams. Next play, Johnson goes deep down the sideline for Albert Connell. Connell, 1,000-yard receiving this year. Brant Westbrook called for pass interference. Sterling, what up?
All he's got to do is turn around and the ball will hit him in the chest, but he has no choice but to interfere. Don't want to give up the touchdown pass.
That set up first and goal from the 1. But on 3rd and goal from the 1, Stephen Davis. It's all to the good. He scored 8 touchdowns this year in the first quarter. 7-zip Redskins. Norv Turner liking it. First quarter again. 7-zip Skins. Detroit struggling. Corey Schlesinger, who's a fullback converted to tailback, got stopped by Marco Coleman, got dropped for a loss by Sean Barber, Sterling.
This is how you play linebacker in the NFL. You fill that gap, and when you see the ball carrier, you hit it with all you got. Great play by Sean Barber.
Detroit forced to punt again. Still first quarter. Stephen Davis breaks free. Just call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up. 58 yards.
Get right here. Great pancake on the corner. Walk in by Stephen Davis.
Late first quarter, still 14-zip. Gus Frerotte picked off by Champ Bailey. Champ had 5 interceptions, and this is rookie year that set up a Washington field goal. Second quarter, 17-zip Skins. More Detroit woes. Tight end David Sloan jumps off sides. 5-yard penalty. Next play, Gus Frerotte. Gus, the umpire doesn't play. Bruh, he's got on a stripe jersey. Another stalled possession for Detroit. Second quarter, more Stephen Davis. Cut it out, Steve. Why are you killing them kids, Steve? 33 yards. Next play, Davis, 7 yards. Same drive. I thought he was hurt. Brought down, short of the first down. He lands awkwardly on his knee, and he's injured. Jogged off under his own power. He'd leave the game with a slight sprain to his knee. Still, Davis, 119 yards, 15 carries, like midway through the second quarter. Second quarter, Skip Hicks picks off where Davis left off. Brad Johnson hits him in the flat for 14 yards. Same drive, Hicks, another 9 yards off tackle. Setting up Brad Johnson to Cottle. Cottle keeps his feet. Represent, kid. Johnson, 15 of 31, 174 yards in the day. 4 seconds up in the first half. Hail Mary attempt for Detroit. Gus Frerotte launches the Hail Mary downfield. Sterling, what do you do?
Knock it down!
27-zip Skins at the break. Herman Moore came down with it, but he couldn't get in the end zone. Second half, 27-zip Washington. Brad Johnson finds Stephen Boyd. One problem, Boyd plays for Detroit. After the play, Johnson and Robert Porsche get into it, and Johnson takes down Porsche. Oh, you know Rob's going to hear about that in the locker room. A pileup occurs during the melee. Trey Johnson, the Pro Bowler, restrained, takes a swing, but he accidentally hits back judge Bill Lowry in the head. Levy is stunned. Referee Bob McElwee says, Johnson, you're gone. What do we have, WCW wrestling here? Johnson got called for a personal foul and got kicked out of the game. Ugly incident and an ugly day for the Lions. Redskins beat them 27-13. Brad Johnson, he threw 2 interceptions, but he still won the game. Herman Moore, 3 catches, 69 yards. Jermaine Crowell, 5 catches, not enough. Larry Sinners, 7 receptions, 61 yards. Cottle, only 2 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. After the game, Norv Turner, a big whew, but it worked.
Our defense continued to play, and that's as good a defensive game as we've had in a long time. And our defensive front was outstanding. Our coverage was outstanding. Our enthusiasm, intensity, our guys were flying around. It was great.
I mean, for me, it ain't too many of us old guys around, but it certainly feels good. But it's only one step toward the big one.
Washington. They knew they had to get out and run the ball. Stephen Davis was hurt, but my man piled up 119 yards.
Yeah, he really looked hurt.
And it's like 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. How was Washington able to run so effectively?
46 carries. That commitment to the run early broke the will of the Detroit Lions. Detroit came into this football game and ran the ball only 10 times. What that did was force the pressure onto their quarterback, Gus Frerotte. Sacked 5 times, 12 penalties on that offense, 5 sacks. That pressure on the quarterback, he had nowhere else to go. He had to drop back and take that beating. And it's like Coach Turner said, that defense played extremely well once they got that big lead.
Gus got his old team in Week 13. His old team got him in the playoffs when it counts the most. Detroit Lions, their last 6 playoff games, they have been beat all about the face and head. They lose this one. They lost a close one to the Bucks in 97, but they've been in the playoffs recently. 99, 97, 95, 94, 93, 91. but 6 straight losses, and they've been outscored 190 to 106. When we come back, we're going to give out our game balls. A lot of candidates. McNair, The Freak, Eddie George. We only got 2 to give out. Who's going to get them? Stay with us. We'll find out.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save.
Sterling, my game ball goes to Frank Wycheck. Great catch. He had 4 catches. Great heads-up play after it bounced off John Halasek. And, of course, he threw the lateral to Kevin Dyson. That was the game winner.
Well, Stu, my game ball goes to Javon Curse. This is what all the fuss is over. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, a safety. He got after the Buffalo Bills early and often and almost won the game by himself.
By the way, Frank Wycheck during the regular season, 1-for-1 throwing, 61-yard touchdown. We're going to come back with another look at the play of the day. Wonder what that is. Sunday's games, the first one, Cowboys and Vikings. Emmett almost had like 200 yards in the first half the last time they played Minnesota. What do the Cowboys have to do to beat Minnesota, Sterling?
Run the ball. Like they did the first matchup, that's all.
Dolphins, Seahawks, 2 teams that back literally into the playoffs.
Quarterbacks cannot throw interceptions. Whoever loses the turnover battle is going to lose this game.
First time in his career that Marino had more interceptions than touchdown passes. Hey, one more time, we got to take a look back at the play of the day with the radio call. Let's check it out.
The Titans have a miracle left in them in what has been a magical season to this point. Fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's
40,
got something.
50.
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
Thank you, Titan Radio Network. I know as broadcasters we're supposed to be a little bit objective, though.
Yeah, we're here. Very unbiased.
He was like the wrestler.
That play will make everyone forget about what Wade Phillips did by starting Rob Johnson. No one will talk quarterback controversy until the start of the preseason next year. That play got Wade Phillips off the hook.
With Sterling Sharp, I'm Stuart Scott. Chris Berman back here.